Hi everyone and welcome back to Splash Page. I'm Sean and as always I'm joined by Andrew, and now we're going to discuss what is easily the best episode so far of Invincible. Andrew, what'd you think?
Yeah, so this episode has everything in it. Nolan gets his ass kicked by everything Cecil's got, including some cool new upgraded Reanimen. Robot gets a new body, and while Mark gets dumped, Monster Girl might have a new relationship starting. So let's get into it.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Splash Page. I'm Sean and as always I'm joined by Andrew, and today we're going to break down what I'm considering the best episode to date of Invincible, episode number 7. Yeah. It was absolutely unbelievable, but before we jump in, I do want to say congratulations to James7792, who was the winner of Invincible 19, our first ever giveaway on this channel. So the comic is in the mail, and congratulations. So what we're going to do now is our next giveaway. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, we will be giving away a Invincible as well as an Adam Eve toy. These toys are valued at $25. Who knows, collector's item could be going up. We will be giving one away to each person. So there'll be 2 winners once we reach 1,000 subscribers, meaning you have a 1 in 500 chance of winning.
Very, very cool. I'm going to do my best to win those also.
Yeah, again, you cannot win them. So let's jump right in this episode. Weens, I absolutely love this episode, and there wasn't a storyline or a breath that I thought was wasted.
No, this was tense from second 1 to the end credit.
Mm-hmm.
Not a second of, oh, thank God, there's a moment to breathe. Not one.
Absolutely. So we start the episode. Debby and Nolan are talking, and Debby is obviously very angry and afraid of Nolan. Completely knows what Nolan did. Attempts to confront him, and the conversation does not go well.
No, she's super pissed at him, and he's trying to, listen, it's okay, just trust me. Don't you trust me? No, I don't trust you anymore. Of course she doesn't trust him anymore. He's been lying to her for 20 plus years. And now it's coming out, not because he told her, but because things unraveled. And that's never the best way to find anything out.
Right. So she kicks him out, and rather than using the door, he flies through the the roof. So that'll be expensive.
Angrily through the roof.
Yes, yeah. We then cut around a little bit, but in this storyline, Cecil then immediately grabs Debby and brings her to the Pentagon, kind of his headquarters, and she's stationed there through the rest of the episode, kind of watching everything that unfolds from that vantage point. It
felt very much like what NASA would have been doing when they tried to land a man on the moon.
Yeah, it's like complete control center.
Way more intense.
Yeah, we have a bit of a storyline between Amber, Mark, and William. Amber is aware that Mark was invincible, at least she claims to have known for a few weeks, but doesn't take him back and doesn't think that's an excuse. In fact, anything, she's more upset about it because in her mind, he lied about...
Which he did.
Yeah, which he did. You know, it's his alter ego, Mark, or Invincible at this point, so he couldn't be clear and honest with her, but you still have to consider that lying.
And again, that's a through line of this whole show, is how everyone has been lying to everyone in some way or another. Also, in the books, it turned out a little differently. When they were away at college, Mark admitted to being invincible, and that kind of turned her on, and that kind of extended the relationship for a while.
Yeah,
which is right. Also a legitimate response, if you hadn't figured it out yourself.
Yeah, I'm actually happier with this breakdown than I was with what happened in the comic.
I'll say this. Everything that's changed from the comic to the screen, I think, is better on the screen, as good as it was in the books. Yeah, every change they made was made for the better.
Yeah, I think they just had that foresight to be like, this probably wouldn't play, and like, to be honest, this was like a 1-panel thing in the comic, and if we're going to bring it to the show, it needs more context, it needs more depth.
And when you're writing a comic book, you're writing month to month, and if you decide to change the story 3 months from now, you're stuck with what you put out. But they've already written this entire story, and now they're rewriting it, so this is kind of an editing session for them, too, to flesh everything out.
Absolutely. So then we have the storyline with Adam Eve. We see that she's been going around the world helping people, and then find out that she's only about 300 miles west of wherever Mark and Nolan live. But she has the dopest treehouse in the game. There's no questioning that.
Which I think would put her somewhere in the middle of the country, because I think in the books they were in and around Baltimore area, if I remember one of the letter sections correctly.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I wasn't aware, but in the comic, she is in Africa. The treehouse is in Africa, but they just said 300 miles west, so I don't know why they changed that, but
definitely
it doesn't
not
really matter. I don't think there's any giant waterfalls in the middle of the country that look like this, but if there are, let me know. I would love to go see them.
Maybe in South America. There's a couple in South America.
Yes.
I don't know if the geography works out.
Yeah. So Mark, after getting dumped, talks to Adam Eve, and they have a conversation about being a hero, and he basically says to Adam Eve, well, you gave it up, and her response is she saved more lives not being a hero than she did being a hero.
Yeah, it was a twist of the earlier conversation of her saying, I'm going to go off and not fight crime or do it my own way, and him saying, I'm going to stick around because that's all I could do. I could just punch things.
Yeah, so let's jump into the main point of this episode.
Yes.
And that is Nolan has been outed. Everyone is now fully aware that he has killed the Guardians of the Globe, and he is trying to find Mark. And the reason for this, and Cecil makes it very clear, is that Mark is also a viltramite. And if there is someone on the planet who is able to stop Nolan, it would be Mark. So it's so important that Nolan gets to Mark first to kind of explain his side or convince him of whatever he needs to convince him of so that fight doesn't escalate. From that point, Cecil does everything in his power to stop Nolan from finding Mark. He shoots this giant, insane laser from space that kills just a ton of wildlife and vegetation, which only stops Nolan for about 30 seconds.
Dozens of crows just fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
Now, that laser, was that what Ronald Reagan was talking about when he was setting up the Star Wars defense system? Is that it actualized?
Might be. Yeah. I think the crazier thing is that was only option A. He goes to option B, which he calls a Hail Mary, and it's this giant Cthulhu-looking monster who has diamond teeth and actually gives Nolan quite an issue.
Yeah, well, Cecil is big in upgrading things. Before he did this, he brought out the upgraded Reanimen out of those little R2-D2s he dropped off in the desert.
Which was a cool fight.
Yeah, that gave him a bloody nose at least and stopped him for a few minutes, 5-10 minutes. But that Cthulhu-looking creature also with no pain center and upgraded. Everything's upgraded. This is always level 2 with Cecil.
Yeah, and I don't think any of those things happen in the book.
No.
I don't even remember the Cthulhu-type character. That must be a show-only thing. While the Reanimen exist, they don't fight Nolan. I can't remember a moment when they do. And I also don't believe there was a giant laser from space in any of the comic. However, the thing that does happen in the comic, and the thing that actually gets Nolan caught, is the Immortal.
Yes.
Comes back in. He is reanimated by the Mauler twins, as he is here. Mm-hmm. And he flies and starts fighting Nolan in a very public area where people see what's going on.
And that's kind of what tipped everyone off in the books, that something wasn't right, even though some other people may or may not have known. No, actually, I think in the books, nobody else knew. Cecil didn't know. Nobody had any clue.
Nope.
The only thing that dropped him in the books, that outed him, was Immortal coming back to life.
Yep.
Can we talk about that real quick? How did it take so long for Immortal to come back? It looks like the Maulers brought him back to life with a staple gun. So, I mean, the collar didn't work, but the staple gun basically brought him back to life.
Yeah,
did Cecil just not want to bring him back?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was buried. So the idea is that he was dead. Remember, he had a hole in his stomach, and he had his head cut off. So Mauler twins must have done something to him, because obviously this hole in his stomach was taken away before Nolan put it back there. But I think more interestingly, when the Mauler twins were trying to bring the Immortal back to life, you see flashbacks from different portions of the Immortal's life.
That was crazy looking. Well, apparently in a past life he was Abraham Lincoln, which is also in the books. And there is a resemblance. He was also maybe King Arthur. I don't know who that nondescript.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah,
that's what I thought as well.
Very cool.
I think, we end the episode with Nolan and Mark floating in the sky. Mark obviously completely flabbergasted and confused on what's going on. We do have that shot of Nolan from the first trailer, I believe, with the red eyes flying, all beat up. And, he's going to come clean to Mark and see how Mark reacts to that.
And after we shot the last video for the teaser, I had a feeling this was how it was going to end with the line, "We need to talk," so that episode 8 could kind of explain why he's doing what he's doing, and then see him do what he's going to do next.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to get that this episode, so the next episode could
tie up loose
build on it
ends.
a little bit more, but it completely makes sense that they're doing it this way.
This makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
This is why we're not writing the show.
Exactly, yeah. The last storyline we just want to mention, because it is a very important one, is the Robot and Monster Girl storyline. So we find out, for anyone that hadn't been able to pick up on this earlier, that Robot is not a robot. He's actually that little creature that can't be out of the liquid.
Yeah, the creepy baby guy.
And the DNA he stole from rexplode was given to the Mauler twins to build a clone of him. And I think the cool thing with this is it kind of followed what happened in the comic, and I don't even know if you're to this point yet, Weens.
I saw the baby. I didn't know that it was Robot actually, so I didn't even get to that point.
Yeah, so the transfer of the mind isn't truly a transfer, it's a duplication, meaning that the original robot is still within that little body.
Or do we call him Rudy now?
The clone. Yeah, in Rudy's body, yeah. So when there's the teenage version of rexplode with Rudy's brain, and he walks over to the still living baby hurting from the air version, here it's kind of a peaceful, he takes the mask off and he dies. In the comic, the teenage version actually kind of chokes him to death.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, this was a very peaceful ending and a very kind of almost tearjerker. It was for the characters, at least. Yeah.
I think even the Mauler twins kind of choked up, if I remember. And then instantly, Robot, or Rudy now, completely flips on the Mauler twins and goes, "All right, well, thanks for helping me. You're now going back to jail."
Yeah, and he pulls out... I was a little bit sad when we saw the robot body disintegrate, because I was kind of starting to get attached to that character. Thankfully, there's another 100 or so of them in the back of that truck, which also turned out to be a transformer to turn into a giant robot with glowing yellow eyes to beat the crap out of the Maulers.
And I was wrong. I said in the trailer review that I don't think that happened in the comic, and it actually does. I took a look back, and he uses a larger version, a Hulkbuster version, to get the Mauler twins. So,
but he doesn't finish the job, does he? Because he gets that call from Cecil.
Right. And back at Guardians of the Globe headquarters, Monster Girl meets Rudy. The teenage version of rexplode. A lot of funny conversation there, but basically you see that Monster Girl and Robot are going to kind of be a bit of an item.
Yeah, by the end of the show, there's a little bit of hand-holding. When everything's falling down around them, that kind of shared tragedy is going to bring them closer together.
I mean, again, I thought this was the best episode so far. And if anything, the next episode is probably going to be even better. But just beyond excited. And thank you, everyone, for watching and following along. Obviously, next week, we will do the teaser trailer on Tuesday. We will do our final Season 1 recap of Episode 8. And we will keep this going.
Yeah.
So we're going to do some new shows as well as doing Invincible content, maybe from the comics or from production updates right now.
And I think we'll go a little deeper into some of the writing and some of the reasons the characters did what they did, perhaps.
Yeah, and right now they have not been greenlit for a second season. I can't imagine that that's far away.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
But yeah, so we'll keep our eyes out and our ears out for that, and obviously do a video once we hear the fate of just what has to be one of the best shows of 2020, 2021. Well, thanks everyone. So subscribe, like, and comment on our videos for your chance to win the action figures Invincible and Adam Eve. We will be giving that away at 1,000 subscribers to 2 lucky winners.
And if you have any other suggestions for shows to watch or any theories about the last episode or anything you think we got wrong, let us know. And we read all the comments and we tend to reply, so we can have a little discussion down there too.
Yeah, we will reply to all of your comments. Please comment. Thanks everyone.
Bye.
I'm Sean. That's Andrew. We'll catch you next week.